Welcome back. This channel exists because of your support. Subscribe, hit like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Now let's get into the story. People say laughter is the best medicine. They don't mention it can also be the most honest confession you'll ever hear. I learned that on a Tuesday night at 10:47 p.m. when I came home early from a canceled client meeting in Bellevue. My wife was in our bedroom, door partially open, wine glass in hand, laughing into her phone like she hadn't laughed in months. I stood in the hallway, just listening. "Oh my God, Brad would never suspect a thing," Jennifer said to whoever was on the video call. "He's so buried in his code he barely notices when I'm home." A woman's voice came through the speaker. "But don't you feel guilty?" Jennifer laughed harder. "Guilty? Cameron makes me feel alive again. Brad makes me feel married." More laughter from multiple voices. A whole group of them. "What if he finds out?" another friend asked. "Finds out what? That I go to the gym?" Jennifer's voice dripped with confidence. "Please. He thinks working out 4 times a week is normal. He even compliments how dedicated I am." The group erupted. I could hear wine glasses clinking through the phone. "Honestly," Jennifer continued, "cheating is easy when your husband trusts you completely. It's almost boring how simple it is." I stepped into the doorway. Jennifer saw me. Her face froze mid-laugh. The screen went dark as she hung up abruptly. "How long were you standing there?" she asked. "Long enough." I kept my voice level. "Who's Cameron?" Her face shifted immediately to defensive. "Oh, come on. That was girl talk. We were joking around." "Joking about what specifically?" She rolled her eyes. Actually rolled her eyes at me. "You're seriously going to make a thing out of this? We joke about everything. It doesn't mean anything." "So you're not cheating? God, you're so paranoid." She set down her wine glass hard enough that some sloshed over the rim. "No, I'm not cheating. I go to the gym. That's it. Cameron is my trainer. We talk. That's what trainers do." And the part about me being too trusting to notice? She sighed dramatically, like I was the unreasonable one. "I was playing it up for laughs. You know how girls get when they're drinking. Don't be so sensitive." "How long have you been working with Cameron?" She hesitated. Just a fraction of a second, but I caught it. "I don't know. Maybe 3 months." "You've mentioned a trainer exactly 0 times in 3 months." "Because I knew you'd react like this, making everything into drama." I turned toward the guest room. "I'm sleeping separately tonight." "Seriously?" She threw a pillow at the door. "You're going to pout about nothing?" "We'll talk tomorrow when you're sober." "There's nothing to talk about." I closed the door on her protest. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in the guest bed reviewing every word of that conversation, playing it back like a recording. She didn't deny Cameron specifically. She knew his name instantly, no hesitation, like she'd been thinking about him before I even asked. Her defensiveness came too fast, too strong. When someone's innocent, they explain. When they're guilty, they deflect. 3 months aligned perfectly with when she'd started her gym obsession. The new workout clothes. The extra attention to her appearance. The way she'd started showering immediately when she got home instead of waiting until before bed. And she dismissed my concerns rather than reassuring me. An innocent person would have said, "Honey, I'm sorry that sounded bad. Let me explain." She'd said, "You're paranoid." That's what guilty people say. I thought about the last 3 months. How many nights had she come home and kissed me with his taste still on her lips? How many times had she said, "I love you," while texting him under the dinner table? How many mornings had she rolled over in our bed thinking about him instead of me? The answers made my stomach turn. By 2:34 a.m., something had shifted in me. Not anger, not hurt, something colder, more calculated. She wanted to laugh about how easy it was to cheat on a trusting husband. Fine. I'd show her what happened when that trust disappeared. And I'd do it exactly the way she had, methodically and with precision. I pulled out my laptop and searched for Equinox Seattle Capitol Hill personal trainers. Cameron Mitchell's profile loaded. 29 years old, certified personal trainer, motivational quotes all over his Instagram. Exactly her type, the kind of guy who took shirtless mirror selfies and called it fitness inspiration. I started making plans. Quiet plans. Smart plans. The next morning, Jennifer acted like nothing had happened. She was making coffee when I came downstairs, humming to herself. She kissed my cheek like we hadn't just had that conversation. "Sorry about last night," she said. "I had too much wine." "It's fine. So we're good. We're fine." I overreacted. She hugged me, relieved. I knew you'd understand. It really was just stupid girl talk. I know. I poured myself coffee. By the way, I'm having lunch with an old friend today. Oh, who? Melissa Harper. Remember her from University of Washington? She moved back to Seattle. Jennifer barely looked up from her phone. Lawyer Melissa? Sure, that's nice. She suggested we catch up. Haven't seen her in years. Sounds good, babe. She was already scrolling through something, not paying attention. I have a training session tonight at 7, she announced. With Cameron? She froze for just a moment. Yeah, my regular Wednesday slot. Great. I'll probably work late anyway. That evening, I left the office early and drove to Equinox on Pike Street. I parked across the street with a clear view of the entrance, engine running, heat on against the October chill. This felt surreal, sitting in my truck watching for my own wife, like some private detective. But here I was. At 6:47 p.m., Jennifer arrived wearing expensive athletic wear I'd never seen before. New leggings that probably cost more than my entire gym wardrobe. A matching top, everything coordinated and tight, in that deliberate way that said she was dressing for someone. Her hair was down, flowing past her shoulders, not pulled back in a practical ponytail like you'd wear for an actual workout. At 7:03 p.m., Cameron met her at the entrance. I recognized him from his Instagram profile. Tall, fit, the kind of guy who posted shirtless photos with captions about grinding and dedication. His hand went to her lower back immediately. Too familiar, too comfortable. Not the casual touch of a trainer greeting a client, but the possessive touch of a man claiming what was his. They walked inside together, laughing about something. Her body language was different with him. Open, animated. I couldn't remember the last time she'd laughed like that with me. I waited, watched people come and go, checked my phone obsessively, thought about driving away and pretending I'd never seen any of this. But I stayed. They came out at 8:34 p.m. Together. No gym bags, which struck me as odd for people who'd supposedly just had an intense training session. They walked down to the Starbucks on Broadway, close enough that their arms brushed with every step. They sat in a corner booth, the kind couples choose when they want privacy, close enough that their knees touched under the table. I photographed everything from my phone. The way she leaned forward when he talked, giving him her full attention. The way he touched her hand, his fingers tracing patterns on her palm. The way she played with her hair, twirling it around her finger, that nervous habit she only did when she was excited or attracted to someone. She'd done that with me on our first date, sitting across from me at a restaurant in Belltown, twirling her hair and smiling like I was the most interesting person in the world. Now she was doing it for him. At 9:15, they stood to leave. Cameron pulled Jennifer close and kissed her forehead, his lips lingering there for a long moment. She closed her eyes like she was savoring it. Then her hand came up to touch his face, her fingers lingering on his jaw, intimate and tender. I gripped the steering wheel hard enough that my knuckles went white. Then they separated. She walked to her car, looking back over her shoulder once to watch him. He headed the opposite direction, hands in his pockets, walking like a man who had everything he wanted. My phone buzzed. Jennifer texting me. Just finished. Heading home. Want me to grab dinner? The casual lie of it. The ease. Like she hadn't just spent the last 2 hours with another man. I typed back. Already ate. See you soon. I had all the evidence I needed, but I wanted more. I wanted the words. The messages. The proof that this wasn't just physical. When Jennifer came home that night, she kissed me and talked about her workout. I nodded along, responding in all the right places. After she went to bed, I stayed up, opened our laptop. The iCloud messages loaded automatically, a feature Jennifer herself had insisted we set up years ago for convenience. So we never lose anything important, she'd said. She'd been right about that. I found the thread labeled Cameron, with emojis that told their own story. I started reading. June 12th. Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about touching you. June 14th. Cameron, I know this is complicated, but I've never felt this way before. Jen, me neither. Brad's working late again tonight. June 18th. He's working late again. Can you come over? June 22nd. Cameron, you smell amazing. Jen, it's the perfume you like. I wore it just for you. July 3rd. I'm falling for you. This is more than I expected. July 8th. Cameron, when can I see you again? Jen, Thursday. Brad has a late meeting. We'll have hours. July 15th. Brad suspects nothing. He actually thanked me for taking care of myself, lol. He's so sweet it almost makes me feel bad. Almost. July 19th. Cameron, do you think you'll ever tell him? Jen, I don't know. Maybe someday when the time is right. Or maybe never. July 22nd. Cameron, when are you going to leave him? Jen, soon. I promise. Just need the right timing. He's a good guy. He deserves better than this. But I can't give up what we have. August 1st. Hotel room booked for Saturday. Tell Brad you're at a marketing conference. Bring that red thing I like. August 3rd. Last night was perfect. Waking up next to you felt so right. Going home to him felt so wrong. August 5th. He believes everything I say. It's almost too easy. Sometimes I wonder if he's really that trusting or if he just doesn't care enough to look closer. August 8th. Girls' night was hilarious. They can't believe how clueless he is. I literally told them about us, and he still doesn't know. Best part is he was in the next room the whole time. I took screenshots of everything, sent copies to my personal email, created an encrypted folder with all the evidence. The timeline was crystal clear. The affair started mid-June after a training session where, according to her messages, Cameron had finally made his move. It had been physical since their first real date on June 11th. For 3 months, she'd been living a double life and not only lying about it, but laughing about it, enjoying the thrill of deception. There were other messages too. Practical ones about timing and logistics. Emotional ones where they talked about their feelings. Sexual ones that made me feel sick. But the ones that stuck with me were the ones about me. The casual cruelty. The dismissive way she described our marriage. July 30th. Cameron, what's he like? Jen, Brad. He's nice. Stable. Boring. He works too much. Cares too much about code and not enough about life. You make me feel alive in a way he never has. August 6th. Cameron, does he make you happy? Jen, he makes me comfortable. You make me happy. There's a difference. I wasn't angry anymore. Anger was hot and reactive. What I felt was cold and focused. This wasn't about revenge. It was about consequences. Thursday at lunch, I met Melissa Harper at the Pink Door in Pike Place Market. We'd been friends in college, lost touch after graduation. She'd moved to San Francisco for law school, practiced there for 5 years, then relocated back to Seattle 6 months ago after her divorce finalized. I'd reached out to her late Tuesday night, sending a simple text asking if she was free to meet. By Wednesday morning, we'd arranged Thursday lunch. So, Melissa said after we ordered, "Tell me what's really going on. Your text said it was urgent." I pulled out my phone and showed her everything. The photos from Wednesday night surveillance. Then the screenshots of the messages I'd pulled from iCloud. Melissa scrolled through the evidence, her expression hardening with each swipe. This is damning. You could file for divorce today and win everything. The messages alone prove adultery, and in Washington, even though we're a no-fault state, this kind of evidence impacts property division and spousal support. I don't want to win legally. Not yet. I want her to feel what I felt. Melissa set down my phone and looked at me carefully. Explain. She laughed about how easy it is. About how clueless I am. About how boring I am compared to him. I want her to experience the same thing. The paranoia. The uncertainty. The feeling of being on the other side of betrayal. You want her to think we're having an affair. I want her friends to think it. I want gossip to reach her the same way I heard her laughing about fooling me. I want her to lie awake at night wondering where I am and who I'm with. Melissa leaned back in her chair, studying me. That's psychological warfare, Brad. She fired the first shot. I'm just returning fire with precision. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she smiled, sharp and knowing. Okay, I'm in. What's the plan? I outlined everything. Public appearances together in places Jennifer's friends frequented. Social media posts. Casual but suggestive enough to make people wonder. Late nights working. A change in my appearance and attitude. Becoming the version of myself that existed before I'd slowly diminished to make room for her ego. Let Jennifer experience the paranoia she thought I was incapable of causing. And if she confronts you? Melissa asked. I'll handle it exactly like she did. Tell her she's overreacting. That we're just friends. That she's being paranoid. Make her feel crazy for suspecting. Every gaslighting technique she used on me, I'll use on her. When does this start? Tonight. There's a bar in Fremont called the Pacific Inn. Her marketing team goes there on Fridays. It's their regular spot after work. You want to be seen there. With you. Laughing. Close. looking like two people who are definitely more than just old friends catching up. Let them wonder. Let them text Jennifer. Let her spend her weekend thinking about what she saw. You've really thought this through. She spent 3 months planning how to cheat on me without getting caught. I've spent 2 days planning how to make her regret it. I'd say she had the advantage of time. I have the advantage of knowing exactly what she's capable of. Melissa reached across the table and squeezed my hand. For what it's worth, she's an idiot for throwing you away. She didn't throw me away. She kept me as backup while she test drove the upgrade. That's worse. That night, Jennifer announced another late session at the gym. I told her I was grabbing drinks with Melissa after work. She looked up from her phone, and I saw it, that first flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. Again? Didn't you just have lunch? Yeah, we're catching up. It's been years. She went through a difficult divorce. She needed someone to talk to. A flicker of something crossed Jennifer's face. Concern, maybe, or the first hint of paranoia. Well, don't stay out too late. I'll be home when I'm home. I used her words, the exact phrase she'd used on me dozens of times over the past 3 months. Friday night, Melissa and I sat in a booth near the window at the Pacific Inn. I'd bought a new shirt that afternoon, started wearing cologne again, actually styled my hair instead of just running a hand through it. We talked and laughed like old friends reconnecting, which we were. But we also sat close. I touched her hand when making a point. She leaned in when listening. At 10:05, 2 women from Jennifer's marketing team walked in. I noticed, but didn't react. Melissa whispered, "Your wife's colleagues just clocked us." "Good. Keep talking like nothing's happening." The women stared. One pulled out her phone, clearly texting. We stayed until 11, ordered another round, acted like we had all the time in the world. When we left, I walked Melissa to her car and hugged her goodbye. Long comfortable. My phone buzzed as I drove home. "Jennifer, where are you?" "Me. Heading home from drinks with Melissa." "Why?" "Jennifer. Just wondering. It's late." "Me. You get home late from the gym 4 times a week." I didn't realize we were tracking each other. "Jennifer, we're not. Never mind. See you soon." Saturday morning, Jennifer was unusually attentive at breakfast. "So how was last night with Melissa?" "Great. She's going through a divorce. Needed advice." "What kind of advice?" "Legal stuff. Her husband cheated. Pretty messy situation." "Oh." Jennifer stirred her coffee. "That's sad." "Yeah. Made me think about trust in marriage. How you never really know what someone's capable of." She shifted uncomfortably. "I guess. She's really impressive, though. Smart, successful, handles herself well." "You talk about her a lot suddenly." "Do I? I haven't seen her in years. Just catching up." "How many times have you seen her this week?" I counted on my fingers. "Lunch Thursday, drinks last night." "So twice." "That's a lot of catching up." I smiled. "Is it? You see Cameron 4 times a week." I figured that's just normal for close friendships." Her face flushed. "That's different. That's professional." "Right. Professional. Like how Melissa's my attorney." "Professional." "She's your attorney?" "Well, she's giving me legal advice." "Same thing, right?" Jennifer stood abruptly. "I need to go to the gym." "On Saturday?" "That's new." "Cameron has weekend availability." "Convenient. I'm meeting Melissa for lunch anyway." Again, she invited me to Discovery Park. Picnic thing. Should be nice. Jennifer stared at me. "A picnic?" "Yeah, why? Is that weird?" "That sounds like." She stopped herself. "Never mind." "Sounds like what?" "Nothing. Have fun." That afternoon, Melissa and I actually did have a picnic at Discovery Park. She brought wine and cheese, made it look romantic. We took a photo together, both of us laughing with the sunset in the background. "You want me to post this?" she asked. "Tag me. Keep the caption casual." She posted to Instagram. "Perfect Seattle evening with old friends #Discovery Park #reconnecting." I shared it on my story. Within an hour, Jennifer had liked the post. Then unliked it. Then liked it again. My phone rang. Jennifer calling. "Hey, what's up?" "Where are you?" "Still at the park with Melissa." "Why?" "Just checking. When will you be home?" "Not sure. We're having a good time. Maybe grab dinner after." "Dinner too?" "Yeah. She knows this great place in Ballard." "Why? Did you need something?" "No. No. Never mind." "Okay. I'll be home when I'm home. Say hi to Cameron for me." Silence on the line. "You still there?" "I'm not with Cameron." "Oh, I thought you went to the gym." I did. I'm home now. Cool. Gotta go. Food's here. I hung up before she could respond. We did have dinner in Ballard, laughing over pasta and wine like old friends do. I got home around 11. Jennifer was already in bed, pretending to be asleep. I could tell by her breathing she wasn't. Sunday morning, Jennifer looked like she'd barely slept. Dark circles under her eyes, checking her phone constantly. We should talk, she said. About what? About Melissa. This seems intense. I laughed. Intense how? You're spending a lot of time with her. Are you serious right now? I'm just saying it's a lot of sudden attention to give someone. Jen, you see your personal trainer 4 times a week. I've seen an old friend twice this week. That's hardly the same. But the way you talk about her. What way? She struggled to articulate it. I don't know. Different. You seem different. Maybe I am. Maybe I realized I've been too focused on work. Too comfortable. Too trusting. Too trusting. Yeah. Melissa's divorce made me think. Her husband took her for granted. Assumed she'd always be there. Then she wasn't. Are you trying to tell me something? I'm telling you I'm not taking anything for granted anymore, including my marriage. What does that mean? It means I'm living my life. Being present. Spending time with people who make me feel alive. Her face went white. People who make you feel alive? Yeah. Is that a problem? That's exactly what. She stopped. No. No problem. Good. Because Melissa invited me to a gallery opening Tuesday night. Pacific Gallery on 2nd Avenue. Jennifer's eyes narrowed. That's the new place downtown, right? Yeah, that's the one. Should be interesting. I thought Tuesdays were our nights. Since when? You have training sessions Tuesdays. I could skip it. Why would you skip it? Cameron's expecting you, right? She was trapped. Well, I just thought. Tell you what. You go to your training. I'll go to the gallery. We'll both do our own things. Or we could both stay home. Together. But you love your training sessions. I wouldn't want you to miss them. They're not that important. Really? You've been so dedicated for 3 months. Hate to see you quit now. I'm not quitting. I just think maybe I've been going too much. Interesting timing. Monday, I received a text from a colleague. Dude, your wife just showed up asking if you were here. Told her you were in meetings. What's going on? I smiled. Didn't respond. Another text from a different colleague. Jennifer asked me if you've been traveling for work lately. Seemed paranoid. Everything okay? Me. Everything's perfect. Thanks for covering. That evening, I came home to find Jennifer already there, which was unusual. She was normally at the gym until 8 on Mondays. How was work? She asked. Fine. Busy. You? Good. I was thinking maybe we should do something together this week. Like what? Dinner? Movie? Something normal? Can't this week. Melissa needs help moving some furniture Thursday. And there's the gallery thing Tuesday. You're helping her move? Yeah, she's getting a new place. Excited for her fresh start. Brad, can we please talk about this? About what? Helping a friend? About whatever's happening here. I stayed calm. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm just living my life. Going out. Making time for friendships. Being less buried in my work. Is this because of what I said on the phone last week? What did you say? About you being. I was drunk. I didn't mean it. Didn't mean what specifically? That you don't notice things. You do notice things. Do I? Good to know. Speaking of noticing, I've noticed you checking my phone lately. I have not. The screen's been moved 3 times this week. Different position on the nightstand. Maybe you moved it. Maybe. Or maybe you're looking for something. Any particular reason? No. God, why are you being so weird? Am I being weird? Or are you just paying attention for the first time in months? Tuesday night arrived. The gallery opening at Pacific Gallery. Melissa wore a red dress. I wore a suit. We looked good together, and we both knew it. The art was interesting, abstract pieces about transformation and change. We took photos together, my arm casually around her waist. At 8:15, Jennifer walked in. I saw her, but didn't react with surprise. She approached us. Brad, what are you doing here? I told you. Melissa invited me to a gallery opening. Melissa, you remember my wife Jennifer. Melissa extended her hand. Of course. Nice to see you again, Jennifer. Jennifer ignored the hand. I thought this was a work thing. Did I say that? No, it's just a social outing. Jennifer turned to Melissa. You two seem very close. Brad's been wonderful, Melissa said smoothly. Helping me through a difficult transition. I bet he has. Jen, are you okay? You seem upset. Can we talk? Privately? Actually, we're in the middle of viewing. Can it wait? No. Now. I sighed. Excuse me, Melissa. We stepped outside to Western Avenue. The street was quiet, just a few people walking past. What the hell is going on? Jennifer demanded. You'll have to be more specific. You and her. This whole week. You're different. Different how? You know how? Staying out late. These constant meetings. The way you talk about her. You mean the way you talk about Cameron? She froze. This isn't about Cameron. Isn't it? You spend 4 nights a week with him. I spend a few evenings with an old friend. What's the difference? Cameron is my trainer. Right? Your trainer who you text at midnight. Your trainer who you kiss goodbye. Your trainer who makes you feel alive. The color drained from her face. What are you talking about? I'm talking about being less trusting. Less buried in my code. More aware of what's happening in my own life. You've been following me? Have I? Or have you just been sloppy because you assumed I'd never notice? Are you sleeping with her? That's really the question you want to ask me right now? Answer me. Why? So you can feel justified about Cameron? So you can say we're both doing it? I'm not doing anything with Cameron. I pulled out my phone and showed her a screenshot. Her messages to Cameron from 2 nights ago. I miss you already. Can't wait until Thursday. She read it. Put her hand over her mouth. You hacked my phone. Our shared iCloud account. Everything syncs automatically. You taught me that, remember? When did you? The night I overheard your video call. When you and your friends laughed about how clueless I am. Brad, I can explain. Don't. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to go home. I'm going back inside to enjoy the rest of the evening. Tomorrow, we'll talk about what comes next. What comes next? That depends on you. But this marriage, the one where you cheat and laugh about it while I pretend not to notice, that version is over. Are you divorcing me? I don't know yet. I'm still deciding if you're worth the trouble. And Melissa? Melissa is my attorney. Has been since last Thursday. She's been helping me document everything for the past week. You're not sleeping with her? No. But the fact that you've been terrified I might be, that's been the entire point. You did this to punish me? I did this to teach you what it feels like. To lie awake wondering. To check phones. To feel paranoid and stupid and helpless. You said cheating was easy when your partner trusts you. I showed you what happens when that trust disappears. This is cruel. No. What you did was cruel. This was educational. I walked back inside, leaving her on the sidewalk. The next morning, I stayed at a hotel. When I returned home Wednesday around 10, Jennifer had packed bags in the living room. I'm moving out, she said. Where to? My sister's in Spokane. For a while. Until we figure this out. I ended it with Cameron last night. Told him everything. He's not happy. I'm sure he's not. Lost his meal ticket. It wasn't about money. No? He's 3 months behind on rent. Has credit card debt. You were convenient. How do you know that? Because I actually investigated. Like you should have before sleeping with him. I made a mistake. A huge mistake. But you made a choice too. You chose to manipulate me instead of confronting me. I confronted you the first night. You called me paranoid and sensitive. You gaslit me into thinking I was overreacting. So you decided to gaslight me back? I decided to stop being the trusting fool you and your friends laughed about. What do you want, Brad? You want me to beg? To grovel? What will make this right? Nothing makes this right. You destroyed something that took years to build. You can't unring that bell. So it's over? You ended it 3 months ago when you started sleeping with your trainer. I just made it official. And if I want to fight for us, then you should have thought of that before you told your friends how easy it was to fool me. She left that afternoon. Her sister picked her up. I watched from the window as she loaded her bags into the car. She looked back at the house once before getting in. I didn't wave. The next week was quiet. Jennifer's sister called me twice with updates. Jennifer was devastated. Wanted to come home and talk. Had ended things with Cameron completely. Cameron had shown up at her sister's house demanding an explanation, and the sister had called the police. I told her to tell Jennifer we'd talk when I was ready. I wasn't ready. I went to the gym for the first time in months. Had dinner with friends I'd been neglecting. Cleaned the house of Jennifer's presence. Not angrily, just methodically. I felt lighter. More myself. I realized how much of myself I'd lost trying to be what she wanted. Melissa checked in regularly. Papers ready when you are. 2 weeks after the gallery, I agreed to meet Jennifer at Volunteer Park. She looked terrible. Weight loss, dark circles, defeated posture. This wasn't the confident woman who'd laughed about fooling her husband. "Thank you for meeting me," she said. "Your sister said you wanted to talk. I want to come home. I want to fix this." "How?" "Therapy. Counseling. Whatever it takes. I'll do anything." "Why?" "Because I love you. Because I made a terrible mistake. Because I don't want to lose you." "You already lost me. The question is whether I want to be found." "Please, Brad. I know I don't deserve another chance, but I'm asking anyway." "You're asking because you got caught. Because Cameron turned out to be using you. Because you're alone and scared. Not because you actually value what we had." "That's not true, isn't it? When did you value it? When you were texting him from our bed. When you were laughing with your friends about fooling me. When you called me boring and said he made you feel alive. I was wrong. About all of it. You're not boring. You're the best thing that ever happened to me." Past tense. Because I was the best thing. You threw that away. One mistake doesn't erase 8 years. It wasn't one mistake. It was 3 months of deliberate choices. And honestly, Jen, this past week without you has been the most peaceful I've felt in months. That tells me everything. So that's it. We're done? Yeah, we're done. What about Melissa? What about her? Are you with her now? No. She's my friend and my attorney. Nothing more. This isn't about replacing you. It's about not wanting you. She stood up. That's the cruelest thing you've ever said to me. Maybe, but it's honest. You wanted honesty, right? That's what was missing. She walked away crying. I stayed on the bench for a while, watching the Seattle skyline. I felt sad, but not devastated. Relieved, but not happy. Just clear. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. Jennifer had moved to Spokane permanently. Cameron's gym had fired him for inappropriate client relationships. Through mutual friends, I heard Jennifer was already dating someone new. She'd lost several friends who knew the truth, the ones who'd been on that video call and watched her laugh about betraying me. I was promoted to senior architect. Started actually dating Melissa, which developed naturally after everything settled. We took it slow, both of us cautious about trust. But it felt different. Honest. Equal. One afternoon, I ran into one of Jennifer's friends from that first video call. She stopped me on the street near Pike Place Market. "I'm sorry about what happened," she said. For what it's worth, I told her that night she was playing with fire. "Did you?" She didn't listen. She thought she had it all figured out. She figured it out eventually. Just not the way she planned. "Are you happy now?" "Yeah. Turns out there's something freeing about not being married to someone who thinks you're stupid." "She never thought you were stupid. She literally told all of you I was too trusting to notice her affair. That's the definition of thinking someone's stupid." The friend looked uncomfortable. "I guess you're right. For what it's worth, she regrets it." Good. She should. But regret doesn't undo the damage. It just proves you finally understand what you lost. A few weeks later, I was at a coffee shop working on my laptop when Melissa arrived. She kissed my cheek and sat down across from me. "Still think about it?" she asked. "About her?" "Sometimes. Mostly I think about who I was when I was with her. And I was smaller, quieter. I made myself less threatening, so she'd feel superior. You know that's not healthy, right?" "I do now. That's the point." She posted something online yesterday. Saw it through a mutual friend. Let me guess. Vague quote about toxic people? "How did you know?" "Because she'll never accept responsibility. It'll always be my fault for not forgiving her, or Cameron's fault for using her, or society's fault for judging affairs. Never her fault for making the choices." Doesn't that bother you? Not anymore. She can rewrite history however she wants. I know the truth. So does everyone who matters. And the truth is? She thought marriage was a game she could win by playing smart. I showed her that some games end when you break the rules. She wanted to laugh about how easy cheating was. I gave her something real to cry about. Funny how that works. Not funny, just fair. Same thing sometimes. People ask if I regret how I handled it. If I should have been more forgiving, more understanding, more willing to work through it. Maybe in a different life, with a different person, I would have been. But Jennifer didn't want understanding. She wanted permission. Permission to keep playing both sides, to have her secure marriage and her exciting affair, to laugh with her friends about fooling her stupid husband. I didn't give her permission. I gave her clarity. And clarity, it turns out, was exactly what both of us needed. She got clear on what she'd lost. I got clear on what I'd escaped. Some people say laughter is the best medicine. Turns out, sometimes the best medicine is just knowing when to stop being the punchline. Dear listeners, that's our ending. If it resonated, subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.